Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Good, Bad, and Ugly of Business. I am your host, Catryn Becker. Today, I am joined by energy worker, healer, life coach extraordinaire, all of the things, Miss Nila from Light Key Wellness System. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Catryn. How are you today?
I am doing great. You and I connected in 2001, I think, perhaps. I mean, or maybe 2022. I'm not sure. It's been a while, but we met on Facebook and have stayed in touch. So I am so glad to get on a call and reconnect with you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, please give the listeners a little background on what it is that you do and how you got to where you are today.
Right. Okay. It's kind of a bit difficult to define me. I have two streams of business. One is my extreme left end, left brain, IT solutions. I offer IT solutions to small and medium-sized businesses. And the other one is I follow my heart, my right brain. Where I help people to embrace their divinity through my courses and sessions. So I have channeled a modality called Light Key Wellness System, and I offer numerous courses through that system. And I have also learned more than 50 different modalities, healing modalities. So when people come to me,
whatever they need, you've got it.
It's available.
You just go into your bag of tricks and you can get the perfect one for the perfect situation.
And there is no hiding. You've got to come up and shine.
I love that. I mean, as someone who also just loves learning in, all the different modalities are fascinating. I think that is incredible. And now I have a new goal, 50. That's amazing. I need to go write down all of mine and see where I'm at. I don't know what my number is. And the IT side, that is also really interesting. So I'm assuming the IT started first.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Actually, I'm a postgraduate chemical engineer. So I changed my career 7 times, not job, career. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So I started in manufacturing and, went from manufacturing to IT to media and all sorts of different things. Okay. Healing, coaching, etc. So in the corporate world, I was in IT quality management. And, then I wanted to take a sabbatical and wanted to pursue my coaching and healing side of it. So we got to meet somebody from US. At that time, I was in UK. Okay, so we got to meet somebody in a common working space. And he was a person who had started up some business and was looking for something in quality assurance. So I said, okay, fine, I can do that. I have a team anyway. So we started doing quality assurance for them. And then they liked the work and they asked whether we can do development, offering the solutions. And that's how it just expanded. No marketing, all through word of mouth. And we helped a company who did not have any IT division in-house to become a unicorn. So we help them build the IT system and expand their business. So,
oh, that's fantastic. And there's so much similarity to our journey. I started off in engineering as well and was in manufacturing. Yeah. Yeah. And I went to manufacturing and then consulting, and I wasn't in IT specifically, but I was on digital solutions teams.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was helping bridge that gap between the developers and the clients.
Right. Okay. Kind of product owner. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. But then, this other side of me was, the spiritual side, the heart-based side was saying, I need some more attention in your life, please.
Absolutely.
So how was that for you? At what point were you saying, this other piece of me, I need to answer this call?
Yeah, so I was learning all these modalities to fix myself. I was strongly believing that there was something wrong with me. I was very different. Everywhere I went, I was very different, totally different. The way I look at things, the way I express stuff. So everything was different. I thought, okay, there's something awfully wrong with me. So I had to fix myself. That's how I started learning. I started learning Reiki back in 98, I think. And, it expanded. And at some point, with all the work I have done, I came to the realization that there is nothing wrong with me. I'm just different. So, that was that opened up a lot more doors for me. That said, okay, there are so many people who have been, living like me, thinking that there is not something wrong. Here I go, I'm a living example, so I can show them how it can be different, how valuable they are, how precious they are as they are.
Yeah.
So I had that urge, and the left side, left brain thing was becoming too intense for me. So I thought, okay, I'll take some sabbatical, travel the world, and pursue this for a couple of years, and then we'll see how it goes. That's how it happened. So I did take a sabbatical for 2 years. Travel to some countries like Australia, New Zealand, and things like that. Then rolled out my healing coaching business. Then went back to work for some time, but keeping the same thing as as the second stream. And then came back to business. Business expanded. I had so many streams going on. My coaching business and my IT business, and I was also in full-time job. So,
Oh, what was the third one? I'm sorry, I missed it.
full-time job in corporate world.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So many things were going on. At some point, the IT business boomed. So then I resigned my job and joined IT business. And then when COVID hit, that kind of subsided a little bit. And I channeled this light key wellness system, rolled out, and that boomed. So it's a balance every now and then. When that booms, this is a slightly is in a lull period, and when my IT system does well, the other way around. So that's how it has been. So
So that's a
riding on
lot.
two horses all the time.
No, yes, absolutely. And, because I have some experience in things that you do, I know it can be a challenge to keep all the balls in the air,
Oh
to
yeah.
keep track of all of that, to, make all the different meetings and balance time with my family, time for myself. There's so many different components of that. So how do you do that?
I don't have children, so that's one big freedom I have. I can do anything I can get up anytime I like. I can work through the night, not a problem. So, and my husband is very, very supportive. And I like to create like crazy. I am a crazy creator. So this is all exciting for me. And I like to, I'm very good in creative solutioning. So when there is a problem, it's like I have 3, 4 brains active. So it's like, adrenaline junkie. Oh, right, go here.
Absolutely.
Start that out. This fire, that fire.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it's cool. It's cool.
So, I assume you're Indian.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Right. I thought, oh gosh, for a second, what if she's Pakistani and I offend her? But obviously the chakra system is becoming so much more known and discussed in Western culture. But I assume you grew up with that.
Oh, not really. So I was brought up as a Catholic Christian. So
I'm also Catholic.
we said, oh, I say, a lot of us.
We have so many.
Yeah. So I was not exposed to yoga or meditation or anything like that. My family used to be very, very strong Catholic family. So I wasn't exposed to that at all. I only came to learn about chakra system in 98 when I learned Reiki.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I was
Interesting.
born sinner. Sorry. I can stop that.
Well, that is fascinating because, I just have this like image in my mind of like how far advanced everyone in India must be because they already kind of understand all of this, but that's not the case.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's only becoming very popular now, in the recent years, after 2000, I would say, because foreigners made it popular. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I grew up, yoga wasn't very common. It was very
Really?
niche. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm like completely gobsmacked. I have like no words.
Really. Really. Actually, yoga was kind of, I would say, even, reintroduced in mainstream because foreigners adopted it. It became a fancy.
A thing to do.
Yeah.
And now there's yoga studios everywhere. I
Yeah,
mean,
now it is.
there's
Yes.
people that like live in yoga clothes.
Yes, 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 yes. Now, then, Indians kind of embrace that authenticity or used it as a
Sure.
marketing tactics as well. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Yeah. So
It
it's now
just
more popular in every way.
yeah, it just is. And I'm grateful that it's more popular. I mean, think about how much expansion and awareness that we all get to share now as a
Exactly.
result
Exactly.
of having that. I even got my husband, who's the big burly Marine, to go do yoga.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. So he would come to a couple of studios with me. And we recently got a home gym thing. It's called a tonal.
Okay.
And it's like a giant cell phone that has workout things on your wall and like it's got
Right.
arms. It's really cool. But
Oh,
they have
wow.
a yoga setting on it. And our 8-year-old daughter wanted to do one of the yogas. And so, she and my husband set out their mats and did the yoga together. And
That's cool.
it was great. And I get to talk to my kids about meditation and making sure that that's kind of more forefront than, I mean, I had no idea what meditation was growing up. Like,
Same. Yeah.
eh,
Same.
and
Yeah.
I love that, like, prayer, I feel for me, prayer is when I'm talking to God. And for meditation, I feel that's when God talks to me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
So what are some of the challenges that you see with your IT clients? And do you have a way of bringing in your healing and spiritual side to serve them on that personal level? Or do you keep those two things pretty separate?
Pretty separate, but I use all these gimmicks in to make IT work as well, right? So IT business is pretty challenging because if the work performed by an individual is not very visible, the coding is very individualistic.
Mm,
So if the developer goes cranky, lot of damage could be caused through the code.
sure.
And making sure that everything is in order is not easy in that level, in code level. There needs to be some sort of trust you got to have. You got to have some sort of control mechanism to ensure that things are fine. It's really challenging. So, and another thing is that it's not very predictable. The development timeline is not very predictable.
Mm-hmm.
It may work on PC, it may not work on Mac, which cannot be predicted very well in advance. So you got to have the quality assurances, you do it even before the code is developed, and also the process of developing it, to ensure that, certain structure is followed, certain protocol is followed, so that things don't slip away. And quality control is after the code comes out, you ensure that things are working fine. And again, you can set up all the processes in the world. People have to follow it.
Exactly.
Extremely challenging, I'm telling you, making people follow certain processes is extremely challenging. That's my experience. So you got to have a proper plan, you got to have a control mechanism, and you got to be monitoring it.
Right.
Monitor, control, plan, monitor, control. That is the challenge you got to be at the top of.
And that's true for any industry.
Yes, I agree. But, in mature industries like engineering, a lot of things are explicit. If a bolt, for example, if we are manufacturing a bolt, if bolt is not done properly, it's visible. But in software, it's not so much visible.
Right.
The
It's
code
not
is
so obvious.
not seen.
Right.
Yeah. So there are many different scenarios people use. For example, ATM, there are many different scenarios. You can, people can use it. So somebody may do enter first. Some people may do cancel first. Some people may enter the password first. So you got to be able to simulate all of them as well. So some are outside edge cases, we call them edge cases. But when you handle with money, those edge cases are also important.
So, I find it just so fascinating how, you started out as a chemie and now doing IT. If you were to go back, would you do it the same? Or would you start like in software engineering? Would you start?
I would have been an entertainer. You see, I didn't choose engineering. I was kind of that was the path set up for me. See, in India, when I was growing up, if you are a good student, you have two paths: medical, engineering. Okay, I didn't want to go to medical because I hate conventional medicine. So I went for engineering. Did I know what engineering involved? Not really. But I was very good in dancing, singing, and writing. If I had the awareness of what was natural for me and what I could have done the best, enjoying myself, I would have done movies. I would have been producing, writing for movies.
Is it too late?
Really, I now do a lot of reels to channel that creative energy.
Yes, thank goodness for social media.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not really. Still, that's in my list. I'm going to do someday some music album, movies. I don't know, but that's in the list.
I used to do musicals as well.
Oh no, Catryn!
I mean, I think so. Like, are we the same person?
Exactly.
And I love that, like, now we're discovering it, like, all this time later to discover it. Because I was similar. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do leaving high school.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to make money. I knew I had, a certain level of lifestyle expectations that I wanted to hit. And it's just like, I even remember going to the guidance counselor, and like, there was like some sort of assessment that you could take, and it told me I should be a social worker.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't think they make money.
Okay. Wow.
So I'm not going to do that.
We didn't have anything called social, guidance counselor or anything like that. Nothing.
Right, because there's only two paths, so
Exactly.
just pick one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I went into engineering just because I was pretty good at math.
Oh, I say, okay, cool.
It was like, oh, you could do math, but I could also, sing, and I could also write and do these other things. So I completely understand that. But it was almost like, well, that's, the paradigm in which many of us grow up in was, oh, you can't do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Let's form a production company.
Okay. Done. I mean, we don't need to know the how, right? I mean, we just need to have the dream and let the universe figure the rest out.
Exactly.
Well, okay. So, and if you don't want to answer this, it's totally fine. But since we were both raised Catholic and now we both have this sort of more expanded, I would love to know kind of your thought process, or like how you vision and handle religion versus spirituality. Like, what does that look like for you these days?
Oh, wow.
You don't have to answer. We can
No,
edit this out.
I was totally, actually, I don't know whether you noticed. I said I was a born sinner. So, as a Catholic, when we grew up, I was terrorized. That's what I should say. Every week you hear in the church that you are a sinner, you are a sinner, you are a sinner. And God, you will burn in hell. God is going to judge you. So that's how I grew up. And for me, being spiritual is very liberating. So I'm not buying into an angry God, a judgmental God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the creator of this huge, beautiful universe cannot be that petty. Who's noting down every naughty act?
Like Santa Claus having the naughty list and the nice list.
Yeah. So I am not buying in. And another thing is, see, I'm a medium as well, medium and channel as well. So I have worked with these energies. Mother Mary, Jesus. So my awareness is completely different of what the religion teaches. Again, I am not saying anything right or wrong. This is my truth.
Sure.
And I'm not projecting it on anybody. So the Christ I know, Mother Mary I know, they are not judgmental. Yeah. So for me, it's totally liberating.
I feel very similarly. I mean, I still go to mass regularly. We still say a lot of the Catholic prayers, but I feel like I've just expanded. I feel like there's so much that's very constricting about religion and very, very formalized, box that we're put in. And I feel like I've just knocked those boxes down.
Yeah. It's walls. Like we have defined God in our image. So that's what I feel.
Yeah.
We are judgmental, so we think God is judgmental. So
I definitely did not intend to cover religion and spirituality.
That's cool.
I just couldn't help but ask. I thank you for being so open and sharing. I think there's probably a lot of people that kind of feel this way, but don't necessarily know how to express it or feel comfortable with it because there is pressure from your family. How you were raised and that forms so much of what we believe. So, okay, well, my brain is so all over the place and fried today, but that's okay because that's real life and that is part of it. I mean, there are parts of business where you are fried and you still have to go forward. So I would love to hear maybe a story or two of if you've experienced that and kind of how you overcome those kind of things.
Oh yeah, a lot of challenges. As I was in publishing as well. Again, business wise. So we had I was running a web magazine, and suddenly a library asked us to supply ebooks. from the content we had and also the conventional books in my language, Tamil. Okay, so the classical books. So they asked us whether we can do. Yes, good. And they gave us just 1 month to supply the books, which means you have to get it typed from the scratch. It's not scanned. Typed from the scratch. Guess what? We did 164 books in 1 month. And how did we do that? When I started the project, my team was 5. Within a week, we had 80 people working for us. So the recruitment, work distribution, and getting things together, the process goes like this, right? First of all, you got to acquire rights for book. So identify the authors, go to them, get the agreement signed, get the book hard copy, get it typed, proofread it, put it in the typesetting format, create an ebook. So, and we didn't have an office. So work from home is only popular because of COVID, right? But I introduced back in 2001 in my business. So all through these years, we have only had virtual office model, never a physical office. Yeah. So
going all the way back to 2001.
Absolutely. Yeah. We didn't have Skype.
Amazing.
We didn't speak to people. Everything was through email. Trust me, we didn't have Slack that point of time. We didn't have Zoom. Everything was through Yahoo Mail and Hotmail.
I mean, there's probably some people listening that can't even like fathom
I agree.
what that was like.
Yeah. So we didn't have physical office, and also the workforce we identified for typing, for converting these into digital format, they lived across the country. And the people who were hired for proofreading across the globe. And we have to coordinate all these things. If a book had 200 pages, you got to be sure that they were actually hitting the milestones. And people used to say, I have completed 90%. And on the day of the delivery, they would say, sorry, I have only done 10%. You had no way of verifying that.
Wow.
So extremely challenging. What we used to do at one point of time, is we used to tear the books, courier them to different people. If it was a 200 page, if somebody had done only 20 pages, you split that into 3-4 people, get it done overnight, and deliver. We used all sorts of gimmicks.
Strategies.
164 books from the scratch, acquisition to delivery in 1 month with 80 people. That was damn challenging. Yeah.
I mean, just thinking about that is enough to make someone's head spin.
Yeah. I can challenge anywhere. This may be one of the most challenging projects, or one of the best achievements in terms of delivery in the world. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and dealing with so many people, I think, people can be such a huge part of many challenges.
Oh, no. Yeah.
All comes down to good or bad people. And, just as you said, someone said they was 90% done when in fact they're 90% not done.
Exactly. Yeah. See, if you work in the office, you can just look over their shoulder and ensure how much they would have done based on their presence.
Right.
But in virtual office, you got to take the words most of the time.
So what advice would you have for someone who has, multiple people that aren't together in an office? And I know we've got a lot more technology now to kind of look over it, but like, what would you look for in a person, like when you're interviewing, that could give you indication of how they would work, in a virtual setting?
I look for commitment. That's the top most attribute I look for in a person. So I ask them for stories for commitment, and I get reference for their commitment. See, everything else you can, you can
teach.
manage.
Yeah.
But if somebody doesn't have commitment, if somebody is not honest with you in virtual office setting, it's not going to work at all. So honesty and commitment, I would look for definitely. And ask for examples. And I also sometimes, do some role playing as well, role playing assignments, and see how honest they are. We build certain things to find their honesty in the role playing assignments. So,
I mean, sure, because you ask anyone if they're honest and committed, they're going to say,
yeah, exactly. yeah.
So you have to test it out. You have to, verify, trust but verify, as my coach likes to say.
Yeah, very challenging.
Oh man.
Virtual offices, yeah.
Well, I would love to have another call with you at another point. We are coming up to our time.
Sure.
But I think your history and background and things that you've seen is fascinating, and so much more that we could mine here that we haven't even like scratched the surface.
Yeah. I think we've only talked about challenges. Let's talk about tips.
Exactly. Well, I think there were some tips interspersed, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of great things that you could share, and I appreciate and I'm so grateful for your willingness to share those things.
Thank you, Catryn. This is fun.
This was fun.
It's supposed to be. It should flow naturally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things.
That I absolutely 100% believe that, and thank you for being so in flow with me.
Thank you.
As we talk about everything from IT to religion.
Yeah, and next is K-drama.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so good. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Is there anything that I know there's a lot we didn't cover, but is there anything that you really want to make sure that the listeners know about, or how to get in touch with you?
Yes, my website is infinitehealing.co.uk, and in Facebook you can look for Nila Nimi, and connect with me. So you won't be disappointed because I have a lot of goodies to offer to you. 4 free courses, including kindness medicine, which will really, really, really help everybody.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Please
That's
check
beautiful.
out my website. Yeah.
I love that, because the world does need more kindness, and kindness does not equal weakness.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would argue it takes more strength to be kind.
True kind. Another misunderstanding is doing kindness is misinterpreted as being kindness. Doing kindness can be a show.
Doing kindness versus being kindness.
Be kind. Yeah. So we can talk about it in the next one. Absolutely. Being kindness. Yeah.
So good. What a great way to end this. Well, thank you so very much. I will have all of your information in the show notes for everyone to be able to connect with you and learn more about you. And for the listeners, thank you so much for being on this journey with us. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Please like and subscribe so that you'll be notified of other episodes like this one. Until next time, see you then.